Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Curvy Impress TV. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody is having a wonderful night. I am back with another video, guys. I know you guys been missing me because I've been missing you guys, but as I stated in my last video, I have a lot going on. You know what I mean? I'm ready to transition elsewhere, so I'm just trying to get myself mentally and physically ready to go. You know what I mean? So I am back with another video. We are going to be talking about narcissistic men and narcissistic women. Let me tell you something. There's no difference whether it's a man or whether it's a woman, okay? A narcissistic man has multiple personalities, both them and women as well. You know what I mean? But you got to remember that narcissistic behaviors is in everybody. It just all depends on who pushes you to that point to make you act in those type of behaviors. Okay? Do remember, narcissistic men is very manipulators. They will manipulate you until they can get whatever it is that they want. Just know that narcissistic men and women, once, you know, they don't really like to emotionally attach to you, but they will, you know, love you and care for you in some type of way, as long as you're able to do things for them, so that way they can gain from that. The minute you're no longer supplying that person with gifts, money, time, and all of those different things like that, they get rid of you like a piece of chicken and they go to the next supply. Is exactly what they do. Narcissists, men and women, they hate to be rejected. Okay, so let's just say, for instance, if you're dating a narcissistic man or woman, right, and you found out some things about them that was very disturbing, and you know, you approach them. They are big liars as well. They will lie right in your face and make you believe that they're not doing things that your intuition is already telling you that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And then once after you find out, you know, the things that they have done, and you tell them, like, you know what, I'm no longer, you know, dealing with you. I'm no longer wanting to, you know, be in this connection with you no more because of the things that you've been doing, and not, you know, your deceptive behavior and so forth. You know, narcissistic, let me tell you, when you reject them in any kind of a way, it makes them very angry. They can act out with physical abuse, verbal abuse, and mental abuse. They call you all different types of names. They will break out your windows to flatten your tires. They do all different types of things. And then the next day, they will kiss you, hug you, and pretend like nothing ever happened and that y'all this happy couple. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be looking out for that. You know, they don't really like to connect with people. They just like to use people for whatever they can gain. You know what I mean? And I see it happening all the time. And then once I realized that I was in that same kind of a connection with multiple different people, it started making sense to me. And I said to myself, wow. And it's crazy because a lot of people that's like that, you know, they get along with their own kind of people because it's a challenge for them. So let's just say I'm not narcissistic, right? But I'm dating a narcissistic man, right? We're not going to get along because we don't share, you know, the same kind of views and different things like that. And, you know, some people may have addictions. Some people may not have addictions. So a lot of the time, narcissistic people normally get along with people that's just like them, because when they do have arguments and fights and different things like that, the only thing that they do is argue, fight, and then make up the next day like as if nothing ever happened. Narcissistic people are very, very toxic. They love toxic relationships where you're constantly keep arguing and it's draining your energy, and they're not taking account of. Let me tell you something about narcissistic men and women. The one thing I notice with them too, they don't take accountability for anything that they do. They try to flip it around and make you believe that you was the one that was doing it, or you was the reason why they said whatever they said, or they attack you how they attacked you. You know what I mean? They are very, very big manipulators. They are liars. All they do is cheat, and they cheat with multiple people because it feeds their ego. The more people that they have, the more that they can be able to gain things from those people. You know what I mean? So be looking out for that. And let me tell you another thing about narcissistic. Sorry, God, I'm having some wine, some red wine on top of that. Let me tell you about narcissistics, men and women, where I just lost my train of thought. Let me tell you about narcissistic men and women. Let me tell you something about them. Here it is. Like, I know from my own experience with them, I notice they do a lot of pretending. They tell you stories because they want you to believe that they're going through all of these different things. You know what I mean? Preying on your vulnerability. You know what I mean? So that way you can be more open to allowing them to come in and love bomb you. They like to love bomb a lot so they can gain things from you. You know what I mean? And they do a lot of gaslighting as well. You know what I mean? They do a lot of gaslighting. They're very in and out with their communication. They come in, love bomb you, make it seem like it's just all about you. Then once they done talking to you, they go to the next girl and do the same thing with the next girl. And then so on and so forth. Just like if vice versa. Men do the same thing, women do the same thing. That's both narcissistic. They do that to people that they are in a connection with. I wouldn't say relationships, because there's a lot of people out there that's still dealing with a lot of narcissistic men and or women, and they feel like their relationships is just overall perfect, and all in reality is really, really, really toxic and draining, because you end up finding yourself doing things by yourself. Everything is mainly like one-sided. You know what I mean? You only see the good on some sides or whatever the case may be, but you never see the other side, how a person can drain out your bank account, how they can say, oh, I need this and I need that, and you supposed to just run to their aid. You know what I mean? And then when you don't run to their aid, they go and run to that next woman so they can get aid from her. You know what I mean? So it's all about the supply with them. You know what I mean? Multiple women and or multiple men is supply. That's what they refer to as, other partners. You know what I mean? Other people that they manipulate them into getting whatever it is that they can gain from them, whether it's money, gifts, material things. Narcissistic people are very materialistic. If a person look a certain kind of way, it builds up their ego. You know what I mean? They have to, have things. So a lot of narcissistic people operate off of a material level, where the only way that they can be interested in you is if they're gaining something from you. Okay? Something from you. I know from my own personal experience when I was in 2 different connections, I know what they do love to do, though. I know that they try to pretend like they have changed to being a better person. And then the minute they said that they change into being a person, and to being a better person, when they now see you detaching from them, and going off to a different direction, to, give someone else your energy that you may be interested in. I notice with them that it gets them very, very, very angry. They are very obsessive. When they cannot get a hold of you because you have blocked communication with them, they tend to find other ways that, they can be able to watch you. They become very possessive. They feel like they own you. They feel like you're not going nowhere. They feel like you're buying to them. You know what I mean? I notice with a lot of narcissistic, when you block off communication and things like that with them, the one thing that I notice that they do, that they claim that they will never do, is create fake social media pages, so that way they can be able to watch your every move, everything you have going on, or everything your life entails with. They want to be able to watch that, so that way they can, to see if they do have another chance with you, or whatever the case may be. Narcissistic people, they obsess over somebody that they hurt before. They know that the person don't want anything to do with them, that the person would never talk to them again, that the person has moved on with another person. They will still obsess over that person. They will still feel like they can get you back, or they can gain things from you if they come back in saying that they are a better person, or saying that they have changed into a better them. But let me tell you something, narcissistic men and women, they work from off of a low vibration. Okay, they are very evil. They do the devil's work. They are the devil's little pets. You know what I mean? So they do everything because they're trying to gain money and stability and different things like that, or whatever, because maybe the devil promised them. It's like you're making a bet with the devil, basically, when you're a narcissistic kind of a person, whether it's a man or a woman, because they operate off of a low vibration. They always miserable. They always complaining. They always want to fight. They always want to argue. They always want to hit you, threaten you, all different types of stuff like that. You know what I mean? Nothing is pure about a narcissistic man or a woman. Nothing is pure. They are not for the light at all. I think people who are of the light, like myself and other people that's out there in the world, it irritates people that's of the dark and that's of low vibration. And once you have detached yourself from a narcissistic man or woman, you need to stay detached from that person, because once you leave them alone, they don't even like to be left. They like to be the ones to leave. Just so you know, narcissistic men and women like to be the one to leave the connection, because they want to feel like they got a one-up on you. But as soon as you leave, that makes their ego go down. They definitely in their feelings, they feel some type of way. They plot and plan because they're trying to figure out how they can retaliate to get back at you. And most of the time they try to retaliate by dealing with another female that's narcissistic, that's of low vibration, just like them. Not realizing that that person could just shatter their whole world, or vice versa. You know what I mean? And they're so unhappy. They're some unhappy people. Very, very miserable. Things do not go good for people like that, because they are very verbal abusive, physical abusive, and mentally abusive. Okay? And people like that don't get abundance from God at all. Nothing really good goes good for them. You know what I mean? If they have a car, most likely their car gonna break down. If they're in a relationship or a connection with somebody else that's a low vibration, maybe evil just like them, it's not gonna work out, because it's like they're being toxic to each other. So they just feeding off of each other's low vibration energy, which who wants that? You know what I mean? They're unstable. Most of them are unstable. They codependent. They always rely on people to do things for them. You know, they always rely on other people's money and things like that. Narcissistic men and or women, they also suffer from a lot of childhood traumas as well. You know, a lot of them may be closed off in the emotional area, because a lot of them are suffering from a lot of different childhood traumas. You know what I mean? And that's what led them to become narcissistic, because of what they experienced in their childhood and went through. You know what I mean? A lot of the times, they could have been neglected by parents. You know what I mean? They could have been molested. They could have been beaten really bad. You know what I mean? They could have just grew up in a lot of different struggle and it traumatized them. You know what I mean? And it can come from relationships too that they was in, that people have detached from them when they did try to love that person or care about that person. So it just put them in this low vibrational energy where they are of the dark, so they don't really operate from their heart. They don't have a heart. A lot of narcissistic people operate from their mind, you know what I mean, from the brain rather. They don't operate from here. They use head over heart, and they don't use both. It's supposed to be you use either head over heart or heart over head, or you use both. You incorporate both of that into your life. And a lot of them is just way too broken. A lot of them is broken. You know, when you try to love somebody like that, they don't appreciate. They don't feel like the love is real, because they have, you know, never received that love from their parents, and or, you know, somebody that they came encounter with that have hurt them or trauma, you know, made them go through trauma and different things like that. They will never talk about it. They will only talk about, oh, I'm depressed. Let me tell you something. Narcissistic people overall is always depressed about something. They are never really happy. I'm gonna be honest with you. And if you're dating somebody that's happy and the person is a narcissistic, is an unbalance right there. You know what I mean? It's an unbalance right there. But there's a lot of people out there that's pretending like they're so happy and content in their relationships. And I already know. I've been there before. You know what I mean? And what you don't do is stay in a connection just because you may have many years with that person, or, you know, that person has somewhat changed into a different person, as you will say, you know what I mean? But it's like temporary, you know, temporary. They'll be good for months, and then once after they see a new supply that they can go on ahead and deal with on the side, they're gonna do it. And a lot of the times y'all will never know about it, because a man is gonna do what a man wants to do. But narcissistic men likes to deal with women just so they can gain things from that woman, whether or not if they love the woman, care about them, whatever the case may be. Most of the time, narcissistic men love going after lustful relationships with people. They love to just fuck people, have sex with them, just so they can get money from them, get gifts from them, different things like that. And then, you know, a lot of the times they have a main woman that is kind, generous, nurturing, all different kinds of stuff, you know, that will satisfy them in a sexual way and all of those different things. But they don't care about that at that time. At the time, the only thing they want to do is go after that lustful connection with the other chick over there that look good in her little shorts and showing her little titties and things like that, or whatever the case may be. It's all about temptation. And 9 times out of 10, a narcissistic man or woman will go for that temptation, because they don't care. They don't have a heart. They don't have a heart. A lot of them don't even believe in God at all, because they so busy fighting their demons for all of the things that they have done from their past all the way up to now. And it takes a while for you to get rid of that dark night of the soul. A lot of them have restless nights. They don't sleep very well at all, because the devil is constantly riding them, constantly sending their spirits to torment them, because they want them to do something out of impulse. And most of the times they will. But then they'll regret it later on. And please don't talk about God in front of them. You talk about God, you talk about your spirituality, you talk about all different kinds of stuff, it irritates them because they of the dark. They're low vibrational. You can't even talk to a narcissistic person about God because they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, acting like they care, but all in reality they don't give a shit about God. The only person they care about is that good old devil that's of the dark, that's making them go out there to manipulate women and do all different kinds of things. It's sad. It's very, very sad. I'm here to tell you guys, look for those signs in a narcissistic man. Somebody that's manipulating you guys, using you for what you can give them, lying, you know what I mean, verbally abusing you, physically abusing you, mentally abusing you. They do very heavy stalking. They're very obsessive. They create fake pages when you don't want nothing to do with them. If you disconnect from them, keep it like that. I've been with 2 different narcissistic men, and both of them are alike in so many different ways. And believe me, I learned my lessons from the both of them guys. When you disconnect and detach yourself from anybody like that, you need to stay detached from that person. Let them live in the darkness where they belong. You don't let people break your heart and then come back into your life and act like they so sorry for why they broke your heart. Life is just not set up like that, because you'll have somebody out there that will love you unconditionally and wouldn't even want to hurt you in no kind of way. You know? So they'll love bomb you, they'll gaslight you, make you feel like, yeah, it's all about you and them, and you know, but knowing they have like all of these fucking females in the background. And then it's crazy too, guys, because once, you know what I noticed too with a lot of narcissistic men and women too, they talk about you to the other people that they may have a lustful connection with. And when they do that, they open the doors up for other people to attack you, to watch you on social media, to judge you, to say different things about you when these people don't even know you. You know what I mean? They don't even know you from a can of paint, but they're going by the lies that that person have told them. So now that person is trying to, all right, what's her name on there? Let me look her up on social media, and them kind of stuff like that. Then all of a sudden you just start getting all kinds of weird friend requests and things like that. You know what I mean? Narcissistic men and women are fucking crazy. And let me tell you something. You guys need to go out there and get some serious counseling. A lot of y'all are in denial with the fact that y'all have multiple personalities disorder. You guys need to go out there and seek help and seek counseling. You know, you got to go out there and do that. Stop using other people